to the Conservatives for 5 minutes. And Mr. McLean, you have the floor.
Minister, welcome to the Finance Committee. I hope we have some good debates here over the next little while. Let me ask the first question, going back to housing here, of course. But I'm going to quote you in this meeting when you talk about the net worth of Canadians is up 22% since COVID. You realize that the price of housing is up 24% in the last year alone. So, of course, if 72% of Canadians own houses, it's only going to be indicative that their net worth is going up in that case. As well, about 1/3 of Canadians have stock portfolios, which have gone up by 62% in the last year. So, in as much as it looks like Canadians' net worth is going up, it is purely inflation that's driving that up, and it is asset inflation. So people with assets pre-COVID are actually doing very well on a relative basis, but people without those assets, and there are a lot of Canadians without those assets, are not doing nearly as well. So you're creating a huge divide between the haves and the have-nots in society. I don't know if you've thought about this in your approach to continuing to flush money into the system, but it is causing a problem. I'll let you respond to that, what you're going to do about how you're to address that, as opposed, I mean, I know the big, easy issue is just, the easy button, push some more money into different programs of society, but that's actually just going to create more inflation throughout society. So what do you see the end game here being?
I think that is a good and thoughtful question. And I actually do think a lot, as I'm sure do you, and I hope all members of this committee, about the income distribution effects of various policies that we put in place. And in my previous life, before I became a politician, income inequality was something that I wrote about a lot. And I think that it is a real challenge. When it comes to where Canadian households are right now, I think it is worth pointing out what has been happening with savings. That is not purely about assets. That's about what people are saving. And in Q3, the savings rate was 11%, as opposed to a 3.4% rate between 2010 and 2019. And then just finally, I know, Mr. McLean, of your own financial background, and I hope that you would not think that appreciation in the value of stocks is a sign of problems in the economy.
Well, I do think an irrational increase in stocks is actually a bit of a bubble. And if we can call a bubble when stocks go up by 62% one year, we call reversion to the mean, which means that eventually it will come back down. Likewise with housing. If anybody in the history of Canada foresaw that their houses would increase 24% in 1 year, then we would have been building houses at a far faster pace than we are or ever have been. But that, again, is an aberration. House prices usually go up 2 to 3% per year. We're 10 times that at this point in time because we flushed over $500 billion into the Canadian economy. If you want to talk about the savings rate, perhaps you're misallocating some of the money that's gone into the system so that people that have the ability to save are actually saving. But people without that ability don't have the wherewithal to get by.